There is a place that is spoken about only in whispers, a dark area that spawns the beginnings of urban legends, a place where anything can happen and usually does. During the light of day, it hides just outside of view, but when the sun goes down, spirits, creatures of the night, roam free, and things do go bump in the night. It is in every state and every country, and there is no escaping it, no matter how safe you feel behind your locked doors and latched windows. So we invite you to turn down the lights and turn up your radio while we join Dave Schrader and Tim Dennis, your hosts, on a journey into the darkness on the edge of town.
Hello and welcome. It's a brand new week and it's a sunny start to the week because we've got the return of Tim Dennis here on Beyond the Darkness. I'm your host, Dave Schrader. Hello, Tim.
Hi.
How are you, sir?
I'm doing good.
Good to have you back. Now, I know I promoted last week that you were going to be back all week, but I lied. You're going to be with me for 3 episodes this week. 3 episodes. So thanks for that. I appreciate it. Thanks for being here for 3.
Yeah.
No, it's our schedule.
Thanks for showing up for 3.
Our schedules are so wonky right now, and I'm going to be gone at the end of this week to the Belvoir Winery, where I'll be doing the ghost hunt out there and doing it with a bunch of our listeners. By doing it, I mean ghost hunting, Tim. I'm going to be ghost hunting with all of our listeners. Not all of them, but the 60 or so that are coming to the event. And we're going to have a great time. So I know our schedules are going to be a little wonky, but we will be back, hopefully within about 2 weeks, back to full force, I believe, working together again. Tim.
Yes, I'm excited.
Not just the occasional call-in.
You know, I as I look around the lovely studios here at KNSI, I realize I've not been here in 2 months.
Wow!
I mean, I was here for a meeting with Bob.
Yeah, that's
a couple of weekends
talking
ago.
about. Yeah, you haven't been in studio
you and
to
I
do a job.
Yeah,
together.
you and I.
Yeah,
together,
been loafing at home, watching Jerry.
Actually, I'm more of a Maury fan. Yeah, Maury fan, Dave.
Well, hopefully you're healing up well, and that's good news.
I am actually, and I realize now, Dave, I have a lifelong goal now in the 2 months that I've been away to meet Maury.
Really? Well, we all have to aim for something.
Lifelong
way
goal.
to shoot high.
Well,
just start knocking girls up, and I'm sure we can get you on that show, no problem, Tim.
Got to have a girl to knock up, Dave.
Well,
you got to have one that's willing to get the old Timmy seed.
Well, that is going to be a bit of a challenge.
Yeah. And
right.
Keep it, for that matter.
Keep it.
Yeah, for the whole 9 months.
What do you got there? I got a cup of Timmy seed. What are you going to do with it? I don't know.
Probably flush down the toilet. Yeah.
That's gross.
I know.
Why are you so gross? All right.
It's a gift.
We've got a night of supernatural news and a night of ParaShare to open up with. So let's get going. Oh, I want to do, Tim. Make a quick mention about tomorrow's True Crime Tuesday.
Okay. Yeah.
This is a crazy story. This one, if you're still on the fence post about signing up,
you shouldn't be.
No, this episode should make you want to. It is really remarkable. This woman, I don't want to give too much away, Tim. Buy the book. No, sorry, that's the wrong answer.
No.
I want you to check out this episode, our listeners, because it's really powerful. This woman has a great relationship with her family and starts digging into her family's past.
Really?
And we've talked about dark family secrets before.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Yeah, this one overrides all the past ones, Tim.
Really?
Yes, she uncovers war atrocities.
What?
Connected to her grandfather, this loving paternal grandfather that she had idolized and adored.
Yeah.
She finds some horrific information, and it's about her coming to terms with it and what occurred. It is not for the faint of heart, I'll tell you that. We will not be doing a Dumb Crimes, Stupid Criminals tomorrow.
Okay.
Because this story is of historic, epic proportions.
Really?
And I don't mean that to sound overblown, but to me, because of the atrocities, because of the story, I did not feel comfortable
yucking it up.
Yeah. Sometimes you read some of these other crimes and, okay, afterwards we got to shake off the ick.
Yeah.
This one has such a rich, deep history and is
that morbid?
Yeah.
Is that a good way of putting it?
I wouldn't say, yes, it's morbid, but it's one of those I don't know. It's one of those, I am just glad it's not my life or my family. It's not that I want to be the family of any of these victims or anything, but Tim, this story is really unbelievable. You know, I mean, you can imagine, you love your grandfather.
Oh, yeah.
I love my grandfather. My grandfather was a World War II veteran.
Mine as well, yeah.
And he was a paratrooper and was just he was the patriarch of our clan, right? Mm-hmm. What if, now that your grandfather's passed away and you start going through his paperwork, what if you were to find out that he was involved in the SS and was responsible for signing off on deaths of thousands of people and was an active participant? That's the kind of depth this story goes into. And it's really very interesting, very fascinating. And I'm so thankful that she was willing to come forward and talk to me about this story. It's an important part of our history. And it's just to hear this from the survivor relative. I don't know. I just really was fascinated by the story. I'm very compelled to share it, and I hope people enjoy it. And it's a little different than our normal True Crime Tuesday, but it's one that needs to be heard. And we've got some awesome True Crime Tuesdays coming up over the next couple of weeks. So keep tuning in. I'm doing my best to try to find interesting and different stories, and my lovely fiance is helping out as well, and she's dug up a couple of really, really cool guests that we're going to work on. Yeah,
very cool.
Yeah, so that's all coming up. But let's get started. Somewhat on a somber note, and then I want to move on from there. News that broke yesterday. On Sunday, and very sad. I'll tell you my story when you're done with this.
Sure.
Tim, where do you want to?
Well, very sad news. As the father of the zombie film, the father of the zombie genre, really, George A. Romero has passed away at 77 years old. According to this article, his low budget, but of course, incredible body of work, which included Night of the Living Dead and Dawn of the Dead, creeped out audiences for decades. George A. Romero, the legendary writer-director from Pittsburgh, who made the 1968 cult classic Night of the Living Dead for $114,000. Think of that, Dave. That's all that cost.
Yeah.
Well, $114,000.
And it's an amazing film.
Yeah. Thus spawning an unrelenting parade of zombie movies and TV shows, has died. He was 77 years old. Romero, who put out 5 other zombie movies after a copyright blunder cost him millions of dollars in profits on his wildly popular first one, died Sunday in his sleep after a battle with lung cancer. His producing partner, Peter Grunwald, told the Los Angeles Times, which first reported the news. Romero's family confirmed his death to the newspaper as well. Romero's manager, Chris Rowe, posted on Facebook that the director died while listening to the score of The Quiet Man, one of his all-time favorite films, while his wife, Suzanne DeRocher Romero, and his daughter, Tina Romero, were at his side. He died peacefully in his sleep following a brief but aggressive battle with lung cancer, and leaves behind a loving family, many friends, and a filmmaking legacy that has endured and will continue to endure the test of time. Romero's 1978 sequel, Dawn of the Dead, was made for $1.5 million and grossed $55 million. He followed that by writing and directing Day of the Dead in 1985, Land of the Dead in 2005, Diary of the Dead in 2007, and Survival of the Dead in 2009, a decomposing body of work that earned him the nickname Father of the Zombie Film. Romero also penned a new version of Night of the Living Dead, released in 1990, that was directed by Tom Savini, his longtime collaborator and horror effects guru, and Dawn of the Dead was remade by Zack Snyder in 2004. Some film scholars and horror enthusiasts contend that social commentary, specifically salvos against the military and materialism, lurked within Romero's films. Most of his work was shot in Pittsburgh, where Romero attended Carnegie Mellon University. Night of the Living Dead, the story of 7 strangers trapped in a farmhouse besieged by a lynch mob posse of staggering zombies, devastated and delighted audiences at the time of its release. Its stark and grainy black and white cinematography imbuing it with a documentary realism. Romero and his 9 other investors, including co-writer
John Russo.
Sorry, lost my place there. Had cobbled together $6,000 to start production on the film, then titled Night of the Flesh Eaters. It premiered at the Fulton Theater in Pittsburgh on August 1st, 1968, and quickly caught on as a staple of midnight screenings around the country. But most of the profits eluded the investors because of a mistake by the distributor. He lost the copyright.
This is heartbreaking, the way this goes down. They turned in the film. They decided to change the title to Night of the Living Dead instead of Night of the Flesh Eaters, and they forgot to put the copyright logo on the freaking title card.
Yeah, it says we lost the copyright on the film because we put it on the title, Romero explained in the Night of the Living Steelers, an installment of NFL Films Timeline series that premiered in October. Our title was Night of the Flesh Eaters. They changed it to Night of the Living Dead. When they changed the title, the copyright bug came off, so it went into public domain, and we no longer had a piece of the action. Everybody had a copy of Night of the Living Dead because they were able to sell it without having to worry about royalties going to us. Night of the Living Dead was rare for its time in that it featured an African-American actor, Dwayne Jones, as a hero in a mainstream movie. After directing the box office failures, There's Always Vanilla in 1971, Hungry Wives in 1972, and The Crazies in 1973, Romero, looking to make ends meet, produced a series of TV documentaries that focused on such Steeler legends in the making as Mean Joe Green, Franco Harris, Terry Bradshaw, and Rocky Blyer. He returned to the zombie milieu with Dawn of the Dead, this time with copyright intact, which was filmed at the Monroeville Mall outside of Pittsburgh. This was the first indoor mall we'd ever seen, he said in the Timeline documentary. I said, wow, this is a temple to consumerism. There's my topic. Once, during an AFI screening of Night of the Living Dead, he was asked what terrified him, and he said, I don't have any supernatural hobgoblins that I worry about. He said, what scares me is life. George Andrew Romero was born on February 4th, 1940 in the Bronx. As a teen, he was crazy about movies, especially the Michael Powell, Emeric Pressburger opera fantasy, The Tales of Hoffmann. To watch it, he had to rent a movie projector and a print of the film from a movie house in Manhattan. He recalled they had one print. Whenever it was gone, I knew the guy who had it, and when the guy came in and it was gone, he knew who had it, and that guy was Marty Scorsese, believe it or not. We were the only two people who rented Tales of Hoffmann. Romero studied art and design at Carnegie Mellon, graduated in 1960, and started a commercial production company, Image 10 Prods. He made a Calgon detergent ad that lampooned the 1966 film Fantastic Voyage, and did a segment for the kids show Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood that showed the host preparing to have a tonsillectomy.
Yeah, and then he turns into a zombie and starts biting King Friday and Daniel Tiger. It was crazy.
Oh, my God.
I know this is a super long article. I don't want to go through every stage of his career on this, but this guy was amazing. You know who he is very much like, Tim?
Who's that?
Stan Lee.
Oh, yeah.
When you look, and first of all, they look alike.
They do.
They sound alike. Mm-hmm. And I was lucky enough that about 14, 15 years ago, I heard that George Romero was going to be in Chicago doing a screening of Night of the Living Dead. And I found this out like last minute, contacted my wife. She said, all right, I'll have your bag packed. Get over here. Let's go. Awesome wife, right? Mm-hmm. I fly home, get in the car. We go. We head down there, and I'm stressing the whole time because I'm flying to get to Chicago from Minneapolis. And I mean flying by driving, not actual flying. Yeah. We drive there. We pull up like literally 20 minutes before the screening and Q&A starts. Mm-hmm. And I go in, get a chance to meet see everything. He was sitting at a table. He was signing autographs, so I got a Night of the Living Dead poster autographed by him. Really cool guy, very nice. And after the movie, people are all out and doing stuff, and I had wanted to meet with him and talk with him and just didn't have the chance. So I walk outside, and there he is standing all by himself outside, having a smoke. And I'm like, oh, my God, it's me and George Romero. This is nuts. And I go walking up, and I go, hello, Mr. Romero. And he goes, hey, you got a fucking lighter? And I start laughing. I go, no. He goes, God damn, I brought a pack of cigarettes and no goddamn lighter. And then he starts laughing. He goes, hold on a second. And he starts whistling. And this woman just across the street walks over. He goes, you got a lighter? She goes, yeah. And he goes, well, light me up. She lights up his cigarette. And he was so just matter of fact and in your face. Mm-hmm. And then I got this brief moment where it was so amazing to just be talking. Here's a legend. I mean, I love this guy's work. That was the first scary movie I ever saw. My dad woke me up on a Halloween.
Ooh.
Very rare chance. And it was like a school night Halloween.
Yeah.
He wakes me up and he goes, I want you to come watch this movie with me. And it was a midnight showing on channel 32. We sat down. I couldn't sleep for 2 weeks. That was with commercials. That movie freaked me out so much. I've had nightmares of zombies since. And I loved his work. So I was kind of telling him about this, and he thought it was great. And I said, they just come out with Dawn of the Dead, the remake. And I said, so what are we going to see, George? A crappy remake of Day of the Dead before we see a new movie from you? And he goes, he just gets this somber look. And he had been real gregarious and very outspoken. And all of a sudden, he just takes this long pull off the cigarette, and he blows the smoke out, and he goes, do you want to know the real bitch of the thing? And I said, yeah. And he goes, they're remaking my movies with budgets up to $10 to $20 million. I can't get money to do a new movie, but they're so fascinated by my work, they're paying other people to make remakes of my movies. And then he takes another long drag off his cigarette, and he goes, and the son of a bitch already did a sequel to a recreation of Day of the Dead. And then he just kind of shakes his head, and he gets this kind of misty look. And I was like ready to go and start sobbing because this guy just looked shattered in like 2 seconds. And he goes, but you know what? Screw them. I got this thing. I got more ideas. I got more movies coming. It's going to happen. He goes, so will you see a new movie from me before a remake? No, the remake's already out there in the can, but I got a plan. And this was before Land of the Dead, which I really loved. I thought that was a great new version and reboot of the series. But this guy was so charming and nice. And then that was the first time I bumped into him. I ran into him numerous times at places like Dragon Con and some of the other horror conventions, and always a nice guy, always willing to give a hug, shake hands, shoot the breeze with you. He was so cool. And he would let you pick his brain. And it was funny because you didn't feel like an annoying fan. Yeah. You felt like you were talking to another zombie fan when you talked to him about this stuff. And he was just like, yeah, man, did you see this movie? That was crazy how they did that. And all of a sudden I'm like, I'm talking zombie movies with George Romero. You know, you want to yell it from the top of your, but he was just so cool about everything. And the way he wrote the stories and told the stories. And I asked him a couple, I said, why were you putting him in these positions? And he would go into deep detail with me on these cases of what he liked about his movies and what he didn't like, and how he got screwed, but how it taught him valuable lessons for his business, and how they wanted him involved in The Walking Dead.
Really?
And he refused it.
Really?
Yeah. And they were going to have him involved in the Resident Evil movies. I think he directed one of the Resident Evil commercials for the video game series.
Really? And
he just talked so matter-of-factly about all of this and was so approachable. But I've had a chance to meet all of, a large portion of the cast through the years. As a matter of fact, we met John Russo, you and I.
Yeah.
We met John Russo, and we met Kira Schoen, who played the little girl, and Russ Streiner, who played Johnny. And we got to meet Bill Moseley, who played the new Johnny. As a matter of fact, I've got a great picture. I just love it. It's a picture of me between the two Johnnies from the remake and the original. And I asked him, I said, why did you do a remake of Night of the Living Dead and make it so different? And he looked at me and he goes, well, the truth is, I just wanted to get the title back. And he goes, so I was willing to just let it go. And I had Savini direct it. And, I rewrote this and kind of changed it up for a newer day and age. And he goes, not the greatest movie, but, it did what it needed to do. It got me back that part of my life. And you just saw, like I said, you could see in this man, this was something that he created and it really mattered to him. And they took it away from him with a simple misprint without the little copyright logo. I don't know, rambling on about this, but this guy, he just was one of the good guys.
Yeah.
And was always approachable. And I never saw him rude to fans. I never saw him swamped by fans either. They loved him. And he was always just there. And so nice to everybody. And for a nerd fan that I was, I had the chance to talk to one of my heroes in the field on 2 or 3 occasions. and was always met with much more than I could have ever expected. So he'll be missed. Yeah. The genre will never be the same again without his little influences in it. And I hope that people that continue to create zombie movies and fiction will always look to the original source of what was he really saying with this. And that's what I think made zombies so terrifying.
Right.
Is it was everybody.
It's kind of cool and kind of fun at times, too, to play in your mind, what if? What if George Romero would have gotten a hold of even one episode of The Walking Dead, if he would have wanted to do that? Or what if he would have played in the Resident Evil playground for one movie? Or what would his spin have been on some of this stuff?
Well, a lot of it. And then people forget Creep Show?
Yeah.
That was a great movie.
Right.
It doesn't stand up fantastic nowadays because of the bad special effects, but Creepshow was a really fun, creepy movie that he was involved with. Martin, another one that he did. He was multi-talented aside from the zombie genre. He created a lot of other great works. Many of them have been redone and they're poor imitations. And that's the kicker, right?
Yes.
These poor imitations had budgets sometimes 200 times what he had to do the original movie. The one thing that I really I own a 16 millimeter print of Night of the Living Dead. And I was a few minutes short of winning Bill Hinsman's, the guy that played the original zombie, the one walking in the cemetery. He was selling his own print and I missed it by minutes. I'm very lucky. I've got an entire annual signed by every living cast member. To me, it's really kind of a neat deal, but I'm a huge fan, and I just really appreciate people that appreciate their fans. And that's why, for what it's worth, that's why we try to go out of our way for our listeners and anybody that follows the show. I'll try to be as kind as I can because I understand what it's like to really enjoy something and just love chatting with the people behind what you love.
Absolutely.
And he was a great example of that.
Yeah. And he will be missed.
I would have loved to have seen him and Stan Lee sit down and talk, though.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Could you imagine that conversation? The two, they look alike, they sound alike, they act alike, and they were both masters at creation.
And they were very passionate about what they did. And very creative gentlemen. Both very creative gentlemen.
People are like, get to the news, Schrader. Quit your fanboying. It's interesting. It's a sad loss.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry about the salty language, but that was George Romero when I met him. And it was just so amazing. As he stood out in front of this little cheesy theater in Chicago, watching my hero smoke and talk to me about the reality of Hollywood. Very cool. You will be missed, Mr. Romero, and thank you for the scares. All right, Tim, where are we going to go next?
We go to outer space, Dave, where Dr. Norman Berggren, a former top NASA scientist, has claimed that giant alien UFOs are hiding on Saturn's rings.
Really?
Oh, yeah. They're just out there. They're hiding away. They're hide and seek. They're the
because it's a good view of Uranus from there, Tim.
Well, it is. It's an excellent view of Uranus, actually. They're the hide and seek champions of outer space, Dave.
Are there rings around Uranus?
Well, it's more of a pucker, Dave, not so much of a ring. Yeah. Berggren,
no, you didn't.
I did. Yeah, it's more of a pucker. It's a little sour up there.
Go on.
Berggren, a distinguished and highly respected former NASA researcher.
Why does this sound like the introduction for Dr. Hans Zarkov from only Dr. Hans Zarkov, formerly of NASA,
formerly of NASA.
Yeah.
Berggren, a distinguished and highly respected former NASA researcher who held top positions at NASA's Ames Research Center, believes that giant living alien UFO spaceships are proliferating at a tremendous rate on the rings of Saturn. Berggren claims that the rate of proliferation, which is going to be a tough word for me in this article, of the alleged giant living alien UFO spaceships on the rings of Saturn has been increasing with time and has reached a critical level. In other words, they're weighing down the rings. Yeah. Berggren is a distinguished former NASA research engineer who has made major innovative contributions to multiple U.S. aeronautic, missile, and rocket programs. He has also won many top science and engineering awards, including the California Society of Professional Engineers Archimedes Engineering Achievement Award.
That's a mouthful.
Those are some long-winded scientists, boy. Many UFO researchers and enthusiasts claim that Berggren's revelations blew the lid on one of NASA's most closely guarded secrets, that technologically advanced alien species are exploring our solar systems Boy, he's just a tattletale, isn't he?
Yeah, that's about time.
Yeah. In a book he published in 1986 titled Ringmakers of Saturn. Ringmakers of Saturn.
Yeah.
Bergeron.
That was the follow-up to his very popular Rim Jobbers of Uranus.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Everybody loves that
God.
one. Yeah. It's a dirty little book.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, you got a little something on the corner of your mouth.
What?
There. Huh? Bergeron claimed that he first detected the presence of intelligent extraterrestrial beings exploring our solar systems on Saturn's rings. According to Bergeron, the spaceships parked on Saturn's rings by alien explorers are living alien UFO spaceships. The living alien UFO spaceships are using rings of Saturn as hiding spots, and they are proliferating on the rings of the gas giant at a very rapid rate, Dave.
Okay.
In other words...
Does that mean they're like reproducing?
Yeah, they're getting busy.
Is that how it happens?
Yeah,
I did not know that.
You get a bunch of gas in you and you just go at it. He claimed that the alien UFO spacecraft are proliferating faster and faster with time and warned that they could be a threat to human civilization. Yeah. The quote is, what I found out is these things inhabit Saturn. That's where I first discovered them, and they are proliferating. He loves this word, Dave. Proliferating. He warned some years ago that the number of the alien UFO spaceships on Saturn's rings has reached a critical level. He warned that NASA and the U.S. authorities should keep an eye on what he believes to be alien activity on Saturn that could spread across our solar system and threaten human civilization.
Jeez.
Bergeron,
it's like a porn virus.
It really is, yeah. Bergeron claimed that after the population of the alleged living alien spaceship on Saturn's rings reached a critical level, the aliens began moving them to other giant gas planets, Dave, such as Jupiter, Neptune, and...
Uranus.
You know why?
Why?
Because when you run out of room on the front, there's always room in the back, baby. Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Plenty of junk in the trunk, if you know what the aliens mean.
I don't know what you're talking about, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I just said it. What I found out is these things inhabit Saturn. Mm-hmm.
Have another drink, Tipsy McStagger.
Well,
they're inhabiting Saturn.
I love it when they give me the good stuff at the hospital. That's where I first discovered them, and they're proliferating, he said. You can find them around Uranus and Jupiter. Because they're Jupiter and Uranus, if you know what I'm saying. Whenever you see some rings, that's where I see the aircraft. I call them a ring maker. He said it, folks. I call them a ring maker. Well, you know, when they're good, you put a ring on it. That's what the doctor said. The aliens allegedly exploring our solar system are using the rings of Saturn as a source of energy to power their UFOs, according to Bergeron. He explained that the UFOs are living because they are autonomous and capable of carrying out the defining functions of biological systems, such as self-reproduction. So they really aren't having fun on Saturday nights. No. Many UFO researchers and enthusiasts believe that NASA knows that Bergeron's claims are true, but the agency is covering up the truth that our solar system is being explored by technologically advanced alien species and highly sophisticated alien spacecraft. The technologically advanced extraterrestrial beings are exploring our solar system using living UFOs that are able to blend with the natural cosmic environment. The ability of the living spacecraft to blend with the natural environment makes it very difficult to detect them, according to the doctor.
But he can see them, huh?
Mm-hmm. The medication is not strong with this one.
I guess.
UFO researchers believe that Norman Bergeron saw top-secret NASA images during the time that he served on the National Advisory Committee for Aeronautics, or NACA, and worked with Lockheed Martin. I've got too many C's in my,
Words
Lockheed,
are really hard today, huh?
They really are. Lockheed Martin on highly classified aerospace projects. His conclusions, according to UFO researchers, are based on the evidence that he gathered from the images. So there you go. Yeah.
All right, where are we going next?
Well, we move on in the world of science, where scientists just teleported an object into space for the first time. According to the article here, Dave, the first words from the object, "I can't breathe."
Really?
Yeah, because it was in space.
Oh. Mm-hmm. But in space, no one can hear you not breathe, Tim.
Oh,
yeah,
shoot.
It's a vacuum.
I blew that one, didn't I? Scientists have successfully teleported an object from Earth to space for the first time, paving the way for more ambitious and futuristic breakthroughs.
Wait, they beamed something up?
Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah,
Please tell me it was a pack of Twinkies to the space station.
Actually, they missed their target, and this is a real quote from the scientists. Shit! How do we get it back?
Okay.
Yeah, that was
their actual quote.
That was their quote. Yeah. A team of researchers in China sent a photon from the ground to an orbiting satellite more than 300 miles above through a process known as quantum entanglement. Dave, quantum entanglement.
Yeah.
According to MIT Technology Review, it's the farthest distance tested so far in teleportation experiments, the researchers said. Their work was published online on the open access site ARXIV, ARXIV. Ask for it by name. For about a month, the scientists beamed up millions of photons from their ground station in Tibet to the low-orbiting satellite. They were successful in more than 900 cases. So it took them 900 tries, Dave, but they were successful most of the time.
Hey, it's that 901st try, Tim. You know that.
I do know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how often it takes me. I know.
All right.
This work establishes the first ground-to-satellite uplink for faithful and ultra-long-distance quantum teleportation, an essential step towards global-scale quantum internet. Really? We're doing this for internet? The team said in a statement, according to MIT, well, I added that last part, according to MIT Technology Review. The MIT-owned magazine described quantum entanglement as a strange phenomena that occurs when two quantum objects, such as photons, form at the same instant and point in space and so share the same existence. In technical terms, they are described by the same wave function, it said. The latest development comes almost a year after physicists successfully conducted the world's first quantum teleportation outside of a laboratory. Scientists at that time determined quantum teleportation, which is often depicted as a futuristic tool in science fiction films, is in fact possible. So there you go.
Very cool.
Yeah.
We're off to the beginning, Tim. We're not far away. Now we just need the Heisenberg, no, not Heisenberg.
Yes,
is it the Heisen? No, what the hell is it? The
we'll soon be
something
making,
capacitor, right?
We'll soon be making meth through quantum teleportation.
I can't, it's like the Heisenberg something or other from Star Trek, so that they can put us back together and reassemble us.
Yeah,
compensator. That's it.
Right.
Something like that. All right. Yep. Anyway, I digress in a flurry of nerdism. What have we got next?
You're good. We go to Peruvian. Or Peru, as you know.
We go to Peruvian?
Yeah, we go to Peruvian.
Is that anywhere near Canada?
It's near Jamaican.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where there are aliens, and they are mummified, and they're Peruvian aliens.
Okay.
Yeah. Claims that 1,700-year-old, they managed to get their driver's license. So 1,700-year-old mummies look more reptilian than human, have been causing a stir with conspiracy theorists. New image of the alien mummies were unveiled during a press conference called the Mummies of Nazca in Peru by Mexican ufologist and journalist Jamie Mawson on Tuesday. The new images include x-rays of the mummified remains, so Mawson could banish claims that they were fake and made of plaster. You may remember we read an article about this a week or two ago. These are the shocker mummies, aren't they, Dave? The three-fingered ones?
Yep.
Yeah. They're not fake, by the way, because he took x-rays.
But they think that there's more reptilian to it than human, huh?
Right, yeah. Mawson alleges that the 5 bodies discovered, 3 of them have characteristics that are closer to reptiles than humans. He added, nobody has proved it is a fraud. He wants that to be made plainly clear and clearly plain. We are going to present preliminary evidence that will determine in the vision of the media and the collective vision of the popular conscious the validity that it has. He spoke like Yoda in a press conference. That's a confusing statement, don't you think?
Well.
Let me read it one more time.
Okay.
We are going to present preliminary evidence that will determine in the vision of the media, in the collective vision of the popular conscience, the validity that it has. Thank you, Master Yoda.
Wow.
Mawson has
Sounds like a Donald Trump speech.
It does.
A lot of words, and I'm not quite sure I understood what was said at the end of it.
I don't know, but
and that's not a slam ladies and gentlemen, it's just reality. I don't always understand all these speeches.
I almost feel wiser and dumber for hearing it.
Exactly.
Mawson has claimed that carbon dating samples of the body dates between 245 and 410 AD, though the results has not been verified as true. It should be have not been verified, but hey, we won't question the article. Footage of the so-called mummified alien was released in June, though some were not convinced. Supposedly filmed in the ancient city of Nazca, Peru, users pointed out that the corpse, quote unquote, looked like it was half-finished cardboard and a creation. The video was posted by website Gaia.com. My I's and A's looked the same. Gaia.com, which charges curious users money to view their exclusive paranormal content, but we all got to make a living. The site claims the extraterrestrial beast's body was dug up during an excavation of the mysterious caves. One viewer commented, "Something seems off. The corpse looks like it was made of plaster." That'll happen when you don't look through the bottom part of your bifocals.
But what's underneath? I mean, that's the interesting thing. It does look like they're plastered, but is that the way those bodies decompose?
Well, and it could be the mummification process.
Right. Exactamundo, as the Fonz would say.
Yeah, that's very scientific, too.
And it's very contemporary, the way
it is, yeah. In July, it was reported how the discovery prompted a number of experts and conspiracy theorists, that's my word, to offer their opinion in a short documentary on the bizarre find. Dr. Konstantin Korotkov, my Russian ain't as Russian as it used to be, a professor at St. Petersburg University, claims these features are not a deformity. It is another creature, quote, another humanoid. One website, Ancient Origins, said we should keep an open mind, but others claim it's an obvious fake. Some point to the fake people, to the fact and fake look exactly alike to me. Some point to the fact people are being charged up to $300 to attend a conference to discuss it as proof it is fake. However, Nigel Watson, author of the UFO Investigations Manual, told Mail Online that this seems to be a plaster cast over a bone structure with 3 fingers attached to its hands, Dave. 3 fingers.
Wow.
I call it the shocker. Such hoaxes are the product of wishful thinking mixed with greed and a lust for publicity, Nigel Watson is quoted as saying. However, as we mentioned before, X-rays have been taken of the mummified remains, and Mawson is out to prove that they are indeed what he says they are.
Well, and if that's what he's setting out to believe, how can he be wrong?
Well, with X-rays.
Right, yeah, exactly. All right, where are we going next?
We move on.
Talk about I love coins.
Yes.
And I'm always fascinated. In Canada, our neighbors to the south, Tim, they did a pretty cool set of legendary cryptid coins. And on their maple leaf, I believe it was last year, they actually put a small Bigfoot on a couple of them. Not just a couple, but I mean on a special series.
Right.
So I'm always fascinated when some country looks at some aspect of the supernatural, the paranormal, the strange and wonderful, and commemorates it by coins.
Right.
I think that's really cool. I mean, do you realize that that's part of how we used to pass knowledge on was through the imagery on coins?
Yeah.
When the Olympics were coming up, they would start striking coins with images and kind of the location of where it was going to be. That was a neat aspect of it. They would put who the rulers were, or they would pick gods that reflected who the rulers were at the time. So coins to me are really an interesting part of our history.
They were really the first flyers.
Yeah, they were. Exactly. Yeah. And the first Facebook statuses is basically what they were. Yeah. I think this is a really cool coin series, but it's amazing that it has to come from another country.
That's true. Paris-based private mint Art Mint, which has previously issued some artistically impressive high-end collector pieces like the Mandela Art Series, has launched an intriguing new coin under the authority of is it NIUE? I-N-I-U-E, that commemorates the so-called Roswell incident. It wasn't. It was the Roswell incident. I don't know why it says so-called here. That occurred 70 years ago.
It's plausible deniability.
Oh, I see.
Because we don't want to seem like our mint is completely wackadoo for doing these coins. It's an alleged sighting and experience.
Right. Yeah. Interest in the Roswell incident waned until the 1970s, it says here in this article, when people who believe in UFOs, unidentified flying objects,
My God,
even
man.
I am startled by it.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
It really is, but it keeps you going. Started promoting a range of conspiracy theories, such as that the object was an alien spacecraft, or that the military covered up the incident because, I love how they speculate in this article, because aliens were found on the site. Then in the 1990s, the federal government published 2 reports about the incident, discussing how the object found was a secret nuclear testing balloon that was part of Project Mogul. As the page about this in Wikipedia notes, well, that will
Shenanigans.
Roswell has been described as the world's most famous, most exhaustively investigated, and most thoroughly debunked UFO claim. Given the popular culture, interest in space travel and UFOs, not to mention movies and TV specials about the incident, and the lasting questions about what really happened in Roswell 70 years ago, the topic certainly is an interesting one for a coin. And Art Mint produced a fitting dome-shaped numismatic tribute to this mysterious affair that is shaped just like a flying spacecraft of the kind popularized in countless movies. The coin is made of 2 ounces of 0.925 silver and has a mintage of 700 pieces. It is convex on the reverse side and struck in ultra-high relief with various details to fit the topic, such as made-up alien text on the reverse, while the obverse has a reduced-size effigy of Queen Elizabeth in small circles arranged in a circular pattern. What's more is the coin glows. It glows.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. This is a cool coin.
If placed in a dark area after being placed near a light source for 30 to 60 seconds. And it comes housed in a case that resembles a wooden crate stamped top secret, like those used for the endangered wildlife coin series from the New Zealand Mint. The coin is already out at Art Mint, which sells directly to consumers, but can be purchased from Italian coin dealer PowerCoin for 180 euros.
Thank you for calling in the Power Coin. What do you like today? The UFO coin? We got 2 of them. A special deal today.
Turns out, with all the lawsuits against the Vatican, the Pope has a second job.
That's right.
At Italian coin dealer PowerCoin, and he, for just 180 euros or $210, will take your order for this coin.
Thank you for calling a Crazy Francis's Coin Blowout sale. We got a big show today.
Here's the deal. The Vatican believes in the UFOs, so I'm going to sell you this Roswell coin.
Yeah, he's German, I think. Yeah. We really
Not this one.
Better.
This one's like Venezuelan.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I forgot.
Pope Francis. A second coin, but you always pick up the accent. It's like living in Kentucky.
Oh, is that?
Yeah.
Okay.
A second coin commemorating the same event has been issued as legal tender for Cameroon. So if you're going there, be sure to ask for it. A 3-ounce silver piece that also glows in the dark, but features more detailed artwork with close-up profile of an alien on what appears on the reverse side, while the obverse depicts the object skidded into the ground. That is cool.
It is.
Based on the photo that ran with the newspaper story published July 8th, 1949. This coin is also available on PowerCoin or from PowerCoin, but costs 400 euros or about $415.
So if you really love old Uncle Darkness Dave, you could just have those coins sent to me. I'm just saying, it's the gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah, so get a hold of your Italian friends over at PowerCoin and have it shipped directly to Dave at his address.
Hey, you want to buy some UFO coins that fell off a truck?
Here's the deal. Normally, she's a 400
stamped,
She's a normally $415, but because I like you and you're gonna bring me a pasta, I'm gonna give you a deal.
Somebody's gonna cut both of our throats for talking like this. All right.
Do you know somebody in the mob?
I cannot confirm nor deny that fact, as a matter of fact. All right. Where are we going next?
Well, I kind of want to stay on this UFO thing as long as we're
do we have
rolling.
to? Oh, okay. Yeah, go ahead. She's
okay.
I don't know. This is my weird crush, I've got to admit, this next story. Yeah,
She drinks pee.
Well, Tim, we all have our problems.
Not enough to drink my own urine, Dave.
Not yet.
Well, give me time.
Yeah.
Kesha says she saw UFOs in the desert and it magically inspired a song on her new album.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not just fans of the X-Files who believe that the truth is out there. Music star Kesha, who enjoys a good urine cocktail every now and then. I hear she likes the old...
Does it say that in the article?
Yeah.
No, it doesn't. You're adding it.
It says she enjoys a good pee-pee martini. That's what it says right here.
She'll like it shaken, not stirred?
Yes, and then she'll shake it up herself, evidently, by jumping up and down.
Ugh, stop it.
Music star Kesha also ascribes to that sentiment that she likes the pee-pee martini shaken.
Would you just get on with the story?
In an interview with Billboard, Kesha, whose real name is Kesha Rose Siebert, she's good sticking with the one name, said she has seen the UFOs, Dave, over the Vatican. I was in Joshua Tree, totally sober. Let me preface, completely effing sober. I think people would be like, she was on acid or something. I wasn't. I was on nothing. I was totally sober Sally, just a lady in the desert, Kesh told Billboard. I love reading her quotes, though. They're very colorful. She said, I look up in the sky and there's a bunch of spaceships. As a result of her experience, Kesha's new album, Rainbow, which is set to be released on August 11th, has a bit of an extraterrestrial theme to it. Not only are there spaceships on the cover, but there's also a song aptly named Spaceship.
Nice.
How original. Kesha described her experience with the unidentified flying object, stating there were stating there were between 5 and 7 of them, and the objects were cruising in the night sky, maneuvering about. Her quote is, I swear to God, there were like 5 to 7, and I don't know why I didn't try to take a picture of it. I just looked at it. The singer went on to say, I was sitting on a rock and I was like, what the hell is that?
Oh my God, just stop.
I was trying to figure it out, and then they went away, and then they came back.
Mm-hmm. It's because they were like, I think that's Kesha.
Well, wait, she is going to drink her own urine. Stop. Let's look. Let's watch her drink her own pee-pee.
Why?
She's putting her pelvis to her lips.
All right, stop it.
She also went on to say they came back in a different formation than the one they were in previously. I was like, those are effing aliens. They were spaceships. In May, Kesha made note of UFOs on her Instagram account, where she wore a shirt with one eye and a sun in the background.
It's like a glowing UFO.
Yeah, a glowing UFO thing. UFO sightings have surged in recent years, according to data from the National UFO Reporting Center. The kids call it NUFORC, which tracks such sightings. The first recorded sighting was in 1905, when they were like, look up there in the sky, that there is a flying object. But in 2010, there were nearly 105,000 reported sightings, including 45,000 in 2010 alone. Since then, there have been no less than 300 reported sightings per month. July 2014 saw 1,103 sightings, the highest number ever recorded. There you be.
Kesha. She also claims to have had sex with a ghost, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah. That was just me in a white sheet. I'm not going to lie.
Well,
I'm like, oh, woo, boo, Kesha.
Congrats on that, by the way.
Now you know why she has to brush her teeth with Jack Daniels. Yeah. All right. Where are we going next?
I had a joke there, but I'm going to leave it be.
Oh, wow. That's a change. Where are we going next?
More UFOs, Dave. UFOs. An unusual diamond-shaped UFO was spotted above Siberia, swallowing another object and then disappearing. Funny, Dave. It swallowed but didn't spit it back out. Just saying. Video of the mysterious flyer spooked the local Siberian population. A Russian man caught on camera a bizarre diamond-shaped looking UFO in Yakutia, Russia. It then disappeared in something that looked like a dimension portal in the skies. The largest region in Russia, Yakutia, I'm just going to pronounce it different every time, is by itself an unexplored area. However, this is beyond strange. The mysterious unidentified flying object is full of lights in the night sky, appears to have a strange vapor trail. I think they discovered legal weed in space. After the local man managed to video the whole event, it just vanished into a diamond-shaped object, glared for a moment, and disappeared as it just shifted into another dimension. Semyon, a user who posted the video, said an unidentified flying object was seen floating above houses. It had many lights on and also a vapor trail. At the end of the short video, a diamond-shaped window opens up above the flying object, which disappears into it. There's no information about when and where it disappeared. Yakutia in the Sakha Republic is the largest region in Russia. It's appropriately, I can pronounce all this Russian stuff, but sure. Appropriately is a hard word for me, Dave, because nothing's appropriate in my world. is famous for its diamonds. It's all famous for diamonds.
Diamonds are a girl's best friend.
Police have not reported calls about strange objects in the sky. Indeed, there's no suggestion where this show, quote unquote, is happening. They're asking for theories in this article. I have no theory. It's just diamonds. Diamonds, Dave.
Diamonds. All right. How many more articles do you have for us?
I have, it looks like 3 more.
All right, we'll cover those, but before we do that, Tim, I got to make a couple of mentions here real quickly.
Beyond the darkness.
All right, we're back. This is the best in paranormal talk radio. As we wrap up another evening, let's go out with a couple more stories. Mr. Dennis, where are we going next in the world of supernatural news?
Well, Dave, let's switch it up a little bit. It turns out that there's a rather rich Earl. Rather rich Earl.
Is it the Duke of Earl? Duke of Earl. No. All right, what's going on? A rich Earl. I like the beginning of this.
Haunted by the ghost of a German airman. And he's left $34 million to his family, something like that.
Okay.
Let's get into the story because I'm confused, which isn't unusual for me. An eccentric aristocrat who was obsessed with the paranormal has left a £34 million fortune in his will.
Wow.
John Bailey Hamilton, the 13th Earl of Haddington. It sounds so stuffy and official.
Yes, it does, but I would have it no other way.
Died at age 74 in July last year. He was known in the House of Lords for his interest in crop circles and healing powers, and he treated fellow peers' ailments with rock crystals. Could be why he didn't live past 74. His family seat in... Okay, please address your emails to tim@darknessradio.com. I'm going to slaughter this.
I knew sending you this story was going to be awesome.
I'm going to slaughter this.
Let me try
like
to hear you say this. Okay, now just start back up, and then just hit it running, and don't even look back. And go.
His family seat of Mellerstein, Berwickshire, which now hosts a new sculpture
Bam,
park.
Nephew, bam! You hit that.
Was designed by renowned architect Robert Adam and is said to boast one of the finest views in Britain. The Earl was convinced the house was haunted and would often tell stories about his encounters with ghosts. His recently published will has revealed that he has a fortune valued at £33,896,376 at the time of his death. His wealth included the Mellerstein estate and surrounding land and part of the Tyningham estate in East Lothian, which were valued at £14.7 million. He also had a share in a farming company worth £13.6 million. He also had personal possessions valued at £4.5 million, cash in the bank accounts, and stocks and shares portfolios. The Earl instructed that his estate should be left to his widow Jane and his children. Mellerstein's Sculpture Park opened to the public yesterday for the first time with a large installation by artist Steve Messam. Lady Haddington said the family has always thought the grounds would be perfect for hosting art exhibitions to complement the collections inside the property and provide a new attraction for the summer season in the borders. Mr. Bailey Hamilton was born at Mellerstein on December 21st, 1941. His father, a Lord Lieutenant of Berwickshire and distinguished veteran of both World Wars, was a noted horseman and forester. His mother, Sarah Cook, had a role in the formation of the Edinburgh Festival.
Did you clear out everything there, son?
I did. I got it all out. As a hereditary peer, or pearl, he could be a pearl or earl too. As a hereditary peer, the Earl sat for 13 years in the House of Lords until reform deprived him of his seat in 1999. His interest in ghosts was sparked when he was 2. He claimed he was terrorized by the ghost of a German pilot killed in a bomber crash on the Mellerstein estate. And I'm sorry, it could be Mellerstein as well. He said it's about being in the right place at the right time. A lot of people will deny what they are experiencing because they don't want to believe in it. I'm fascinated and welcome it to a point. I don't like it following me around. I've had that happen to me before. A spirit followed me for 6 months every day till I avenged him. He avenged him, Dave.
Wow.
He got Iron Man and Captain America and Thor and avenged him.
Really? I didn't think they were real.
Well, they are.
Okay.
His interest in the paranormal alerted him early to the corn circle phenomena. He was a sponsor of the seriologist.
My God, son, your mouth is about ready to blow today.
Well, you know what it is? It's this word.
Okay. Well, it's that word. It's been many words, my friend. Many words.
A seriologist. Is that like the guy? Is that like the person who has a passion for Captain Crunch?
Yes.
Seriologist
I had a
magazine?
passion for Captain Crunch with cold Schmidt beer in it when I was in college.
I had a passion for him, but in a different way. It was weird. Yeah. I got over it with therapy, though. Which was devoted to the topic, and he could tell at a glance whether a circle was paranormally genuine or trodden by hoaxers. In 1975, he saved the famous Border Bows Company, providing premises at Medicine for its factory. It ensured that he was the most knowledgeable member of Scotland's Royal Company of Archers, the monarch's official bodyguard north of the border. He and his wife managed Medicine, a house open to the public, and the remainder of the Tyningham estate, and both played a full part in border affairs. Among several positions the Earl held was patron of Kelso Rugby Club, Kelso, of course, appearing on that 70s show. His son, George Edmund Baldred, succeeded him as the 14th Earl. So there, the family at least has a job out of the deal. And there
Good deal. Yeah, this guy believed. That's crazy that he thought the place was haunted by these German airmen who were very mad, right? It was scaring the hell out of him and his family.
Well, the Mad German, I mean, we all have heard of that fighter pilot.
I used to have a drink like that.
Yeah, the Mad
German. Yeah. All right, what's your next story for us?
The next story has to do with the spirit of a 3,000-year-old ancient Egyptian priest.
Really?
Caught walking on camera into a tomb.
Walk like an Egyptian ghost. Walk like an Egyptian ghost.
Ghost hunters have caught what they believe to be the spirit of an ancient Egyptian priest on camera right next to his tomb. Ghost hunting couple Sean Reynolds and Rebecca Palmer were filming at the Leeds City Museum, home to the tomb of ancient Egyptian priest Nesayuman. Wow. I like that name. I might have it tattooed on my behind. When they filmed the hooded, shadowy figure walk across the room. As the alleged spirit who had been dead for 3,000 years appeared, the electronic equipment in the room can be heard beeping frantically and financially, because that word is confusing me today as well. Mr. Reynolds said all the equipment was going crazy, and that only happens if something sets off the alarms, Dave. It was Jane, our camera lady, who saw the shadow. We didn't at first, so we just had to trust that it would be there. When it came to editing the video, we were praying it wasn't just something she had seen with her own eyes. It was great to see that we actually had got it, and it's so clear. The top of the shadow was in the shape of a pointed hood, and it walked straight into the tomb on the right. It's the tomb of a priest called Nesayuman. Mm-hmm. And Nesanoman happens to be his brother. I definitely think it could be his spirit. From what I know, the museum is meant to be quite active with reports of Nesayuman being seen. So our first visit to the museum that's meant to be haunted by a mummified priest, and we managed to film a shadowy figure darting off into his tomb. It was brilliant, he said. As much as I believe in the paranormal, I like to be skeptical, so that's the first thing I do when we capture something is try to debunk it. For one of us to create that shadow, there would have had to have been light behind us, but there wasn't, and there wasn't anyone walking behind us, he said. And you can tell when there is actually something there, you can definitely sense it, he went on to say. So there you go.
All right. Look at that video. I mean, did it look like a shadow to you? I mean, did it look like there was something really there?
When I see the picture, it does.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like
it's intriguing.
Yeah.
All right. You got one more story for us before we wrap up?
I got one more for you. You okay over there?
Yes, this is my imitation of a heavy-breathing alien.
Oh.
Yeah, I think it'll play in well for the next story, Tim.
All right. Are you sure you're okay? Oh, that's better. Yeah. Villagers are in fear as a heavy-breathing alien stomps backyards. leaving huge footprints. In the words of good old JR, Dave, he's stomping a mud hole and walking it dry.
What?
Stomping a mud hole and walking it dry.
Okay.
Terrified villagers living in remote India claim huge footprints appeared after hearing an alien heavy breathing and stomping around in their backyards.
I'm so tired. How come nobody's got a damn lawn chair in their backyard? It would be me on another planet walking around looking for a place to sit.
All this gravity.
Fat, out of breath alien. Say, we got any Kool-Aid?
Kool-Aid.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's the universal drink,
Well, it is.
Kool-Aid. Mm-hmm. Stunned citizens living in Anturu village in the Gadag district in Karnataka, India, say nearly 30 huge footprints were found in the village on Sunday morning. Locals say the prints were not like anything they had seen before. The New Indian Express reports staggering images show outlines of what appears to be large footprints in the ground. Oh, that's cute. Look at in the picture in the article. They have an alien in the backyard, but it's actually been photoshopped. It's an actual alien.
Well, that's because they didn't capture the actual photograph of the heavily footed alien, Tim.
But it's the alien from Aliens, Dave, and it's heavy breathing.
Where's a lawn chair? I'd even take a hammock.
The incredible discovery attracted the interest of people living in surrounding villages who flocked to the scene. A villager from Anturu said, "Women and children are remaining indoors, fearing the alien.
Don't fear the alien."
The men, however, are out there just looking to hear a little heavy breathing because, it gets lonely in the village sometimes. The footprints found in a farm near the Budahai mutt in the village are different from the footprints of any animal. They are much bigger in size. There is a distance of 3 feet between the two steps, forest officials have been informed, according to this quote. A forest official added, "Holy cow, look at the size of that!"
God, where's a place to sit? It smells rancid out here.
Smells like curry.
I had to talk to my travel agent. This off-world excursion sucks.
A forest official added, "We must need to check whether someone is playing a prank on these villagers."
Yeah, I'm out of shape. When I'm just deep breathing for the gag and I'm ready to black out, Tim, there's a problem.
You're blown up.
Hand me a chocolate donut. I need to refresh my energy.
Sure. Yeah, here you go. I got a whole stack of them. There was further mystery closer to home after a huge black ring of death was found floating above Birkinshaw, West Yorks on the same day. There's a black ring of death, Dave. Mm-hmm. Should we tell them about that?
Yeah, you can. I don't know what it is. I've seen it. It's interesting.
Well, it's a freaking balloon.
No, it's not a balloon. Well, it's like a big smoke ring.
It's a big smoke ring of death, Dave. Yeah. You know what that is?
The bong blow?
Well, yeah, it's probably B. Real from Cypress Hill. He took the biggest bong hit in history and he blew it up in the sky.
Yeah.
That's not news.
Nope.
Well, there's eyewitnesses.
Or it's an IUD for the sky, my friend.
Oh, it is. Yeah, look at that.
Yeah.
Look at God's not trying to get
tell
pregnant.
Tell them a quick story now because people are like, what is...
Well, battled or baffled eyewitnesses, one or the other, they might have battled something, have reported seeing the bizarre circles in several incidents over the past 2 months. The latest phenomena was spotted in the UK on Sunday afternoon near Birkinshaw, West Yorks on the M62. Mm-hmm. Yay. I don't know what an M62 is.
It's a highway, I think.
I thought it was gang symbols or something. The circle resembled a giant smoke ring, but West Yorkshire Fire Service said there had been no reports of a fire or Snoop Dogg.
On the left-hand side.
Snoop Dogg was not reported to be seen anywhere. The Met Office was also confirmed and said there's a ring in the sky, but did not appear to be weather-related. 22-year-old Kimberly Robinson took the photo and said it looked a bit smoky, but the shape was a solid ring. But look, when you see this picture, it's dissipating. It's smoke.
That happens, yeah.
Yeah. We had never seen anything like this before, so we've looked into it, and no one knows what it is. Locals in central Russia also reported the terrifying sight before it disappeared into the clouds. They said, hey, we haven't had our cars tested for pollution in, 50 years.
I don't think it's terrifying. It just looks like a big black cloudy ring in the sky.
Yeah.
Don't be so racist.
You know
Nobody's bitching about big white rings in the sky, Tim. Nobody.
You add 4 more of them together, linked, and you got the Olympics.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're all complaining
All
about.
right. Well, that wraps it up for this week, folks. We'll be back. We've got more stories to share with you. More fun times all week long. We hope you'll keep checking in with us as we continue on. And we're going to talk about the forbidden knowledge of Enoch tomorrow, Tim.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's cool. We've got Rosemary Ellen Guiley, the mistress of horror, will be with us a little bit later on this week. We've got the one and only Dr. Raymond Moody going to join us too. So we've got a great week lined up for you and a brand new True Crime Tuesday tomorrow. Remember, if you want to sign up for True Crime Tuesday, visit darknessradio.com. Click on the True Crime Tuesday banner and you can subscribe right now. For Tim Dennis, I'm Dave Schrader. You've been listening to the best in paranormal talk radio. This is Beyond the Darkness.